Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Indy Uchiha, and I am here for what is going to be a very different but a very special episode of the Link Up. That's right. Link Up Podcast, right back at you guys. As you know, I am Indy Uchiha. You could look up to the top right there, see where the father was at over here at the Link Up, Nerdmix Alpha Syndrome underscore TS. You could look, I gotta figure out a point. You can see right there what this is. That's the way we're going with this from now on. But this is going to be something that's very different from what we normally do. Normally it's a discussion panel between myself and Syndrome. There's a lot of things going on in the country right now, and we decided we want to put something together in order to address the situation or inform more people on what is going on. I today visited a protest they had in Gary, and I have viewpoints about that. You will see speeches and stuff that happened from that protest right after this, including you'll see some words of wisdom from some other individuals that we had come and speak their piece and send us videos in for us to use. Gnarly Jargon, Unicorn Syren, Gnarly Jargon, who you know, skateboarder, videographer, scrapper. You know, he does a lot for the community in this area. Unicorn Syren, a game streamer who has a totally different perspective on what's going on and people using clout in order to using this situation for clout. Katana Pop, an amazing B girl who actually has words to say to a specific individual about them using Black culture, but not being there when Black culture, Black lives need them. And I even have an interview with a police officer, African American police officer, that you guys might find pretty interesting. I really set my piece on how I felt about everything that was going on beforehand in the video that came out last week when we went to the protest for what was going on in Valparaiso. One of the things that I do want to say about before we get into everything that's going on, I want to say something about what I saw at this Gary protest, and even though I saw people come together, it wasn't many of that people out there. There were a lot of Caucasian individuals out there showing support, but I feel as this individual protest lacked leadership and lacked a reason for being. I felt like there was no mission, no statement. I felt like we lost track of what we were there for. Justice for Rashad, to end police brutality. We had situations where people start talking about voting. You have people letting you know that they're running for Senate in 2022. I mean, it was a very uneasy situation as what it felt. We had parts of groups broken off, arguing it with cops. It felt like it was no unity. It felt like people out there to show support for Black Lives Matter, but among the city of Gary, it felt like it was no unity. It felt like everybody had their own agenda that they was doing, and I feel like that's something that needs to stop, and that might be from a lack of leadership. But we will see. We will see if we get something better organized or something to happen. Because right now, what we saw today, or what I saw today, I personally feel like that's not going to do it. I appreciate everybody that came out, everybody that did what they did to participate. Participation, showing passion, showing that your eyes are open, your ears are open, your hearts are open, that you're aware of what's happening, is the first step of everything that's going on. But there's something that we're missing in this movement. Where do we go from here? Like seriously, what is our end goal? What's the next plan of attack? Not literal attack, but you know what I'm saying. What's the next plan of attack? What's the next move? Is this going to be something where we all come out and we kumbaya together, and then 2 months down the line we're right back in the same situation we was in? If we're really not going to affect change, why are we even coming out here? Let's see what happens. But I hope you guys enjoy this this little something I put together. It's nothing supremely awesome or truly enlightening. It's just people speaking openly about what they're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So make sure that you like, subscribe. This video itself will not be monetized because I'm not making money off of this. So this would just be for information and support of the Black Lives Matter movement. So demonetization on this particular video. And I hope you guys enjoy what I got to put together here. All right. So no justice, no peace, Black Lives Matter. And hey, here we go. Indy out. As soon as I find the transition video, because I'm so unprepared right now. See you guys later.
So I was asked to give my thoughts on this situation. So I'm gonna go over what's been bothering me amongst everything else, right? So I think that one, I'm happy that people are starting to recognize issues and this movement is really starting to grow because, like Indy said, all lives matter, but Black lives matter too. Right now, we're not a part of that all, and it's ridiculous because we're all the same people, right? We're just different shades of the same thing. So why is this even a thing? I digress. But I think that people are starting to use this issue as a clout platform, and I have a lot of problems with that, like a lot. Our pain and suffering should not be something that you use to make yourself look better. So I am a content creator on Mixer. I don't have a large following, but it's big enough. What I'm seeing is that these Caucasian Mixer people who didn't really give a crap about the Black community before, all of a sudden are like, oh, I want to support my POCs, and yes, POCs, send me their handles and their gamer tags so I can, show my love and support. Why weren't you doing that before? Why did it take this for you to acknowledge that we're here and acknowledge that there is a problem? That is so disingenuous. It's disgusting, and it annoys me because we've been here. Like, nothing has changed, but you chose to ignore, and now you see an issue and you're trying to be a part of the cause. Be genuine. So I guess what I'm saying is that if you're going to be about it, then be about it. We need consistency, right? I don't want to see people like being, Black Lives Matter, but then a month later y'all gonna forget what happened because you just did it to be a part of the movement. Do it. We need consistency. That is the main thing that we need right now because we don't have it. We haven't had it. So if you're gonna do it, do it. This is an all hands on deck type situation. We need everybody. So support, be there, It's the only way that this is going to be impactful and it's going to be worth it. So just do the damn thing.
Commission. And I just want to remind everybody out here that the loudest voice you can have is in that vote booth.
No, it's not. Well, you at least have to register. You at least have to register and vote. That is the loudest voice that you can have. And you know what? I'm not out here for myself. But I am running for Senate in 2022.
No. It's not about me.
But I have to tell you, you have to vote. You have to. You have to vote.
It's not equal. It's not fair for my peers, the young growing up under me, my little siblings, to have to go to school with inadequate equipment to try to compete on a global level against people that have all the top technology in their classrooms. It's not fair to have people that don't stand for what we need sitting on school boards and on urban leagues, Chancellor Keon, I'm just saying, speaking on behalf of what they think we need, and they don't even know what we need. When they don't give us black education, which is education.
Yes.
When they don't give us black history, which is American history. When they don't give us the resources that we need to be productive, they kill our society. My people perish for lack of knowledge. If you don't give them no knowledge, they can't be very effective. See, when we take the knowledge we learn and we use it, we become very effective. There's power and strength in numbers. You get enough educated black youth who also have the right to vote and have stake in the city. You get enough young black youth who have stake in the city, educations about what they need to vote or how to move forward in government, things start to look a little different because they're not so blind to it. But when you deprive them of their education, you kill our system. You give us no justice. Then it becomes unpeaceful because you make us feel like we're restricted and we have limitations on what we believe.
Yeah.
When you give us limitations, what do you expect? No justice?
No peace.
No justice?
No peace.
Give our kids proper education and maybe some things will change. Because right now I see a lot of young faces out here who done went in against the statistical means coming out of Gary and becoming doctors. They're becoming mathematicians. They're becoming rocket engineers.
Yeah.
But that's because they kept going forward. They strive for education. It should start in our elementary schools.
Yes.
It shouldn't have to happen after we leave out them doors. See, I came out of Theodore Roosevelt, and I can tell you right now, I had to compete way differently than my peers that came out of Chesterton. I can tell you now, I walked in a classroom full of white kids, I was the only black one in there. They go, "You from Gary? You still alive? What? So I had to compete harder. Because can't nobody outgrind nobody from the G. I know that for the fact. Because we got grit. We tough. So we push. And we push hard. So today we keep pushing. To those people that sit in them offices. To them people that sit in those squad cars. We keep pushing to make them do right by our kids. And by our elders. And by all of us. And today, it don't stop. We don't sit down and wait. You push forward. Push forward. Push forward. Push forward. Make their asses do right. I bet you some shit will change.
What's up? It's another Jargon. Indy asked me to do a comment on this current state in my city. This is Calumet Avenue and River Drive, the bridge to Munster from Hammond. See it's blocked off, and in an effort to, I think, squash the looting and rioting that was happening in Illinois and elsewhere. Hard to see. It's definitely something new. I've never seen this. But it's a way of protecting certain areas. Makes me think back to when COVID first came to the United States. We were all trying to social distance, self-quarantine, obey the laws that were put out. And I remember when I talked to my boss when the first couple lockdowns were starting to happen, I was scared. I was thinking maybe I shouldn't work, maybe I should self-quarantine too. It only took 24 hours to realize, no, I gotta keep working. But every single day I started to think of how many people are losing their jobs and unemployed and don't have any money for food, can't provide for their families, their bills are not getting paid. People around me are getting evicted. Every single day I saw it progressively getting worse for people. And we're in about 2 months now, and when I see looting and rioting, I have to think of the people who haven't been working, and what are they doing to try and survive? How are they trying to pay for food? How are they trying to, just make ends meet? And that's when I started to think, like, I know guys flip sneakers for money, they flip these phones for money, and when you got nothing to lose, what happens? You do anything you can just to make any kind of money. So I can't be too mad at rioters and looters. I have to approach it with some sympathy to understand that they're probably hurting with nothing to lose. but I also have to say, like, you're walking a dangerous road that you could ruin your life because of it too. I think all we can really do is just keep sharing our story, keep supporting those who are out there protesting and trying to be safe and trying to better their cities. I think we should lift up police too, because they're trying to protect their cities. They live in the cities that they police, and everyone's on edge. So you have to come with a sense of grace and sympathy for all lives, because we're all the same on the inside, right? All I can say is you just keep trying to understand, keep trying to talk it out, because these times are just, it'll progressively get worse if we don't do anything. A little history, if you remember when Martin Luther King was assassinated, it only took 6 days of hard rioting, worse than this probably, to get the President Lyndon B. Johnson to sign the Martin Luther King Act, Civil Rights. It made a huge change in America. So remember that. Remember your history. Keep teaching your history to your kids. Keep trying to spread that information. Keep trying to make a change. It's all crazy times right now. So all I can really say is just keep trying to understand each other. Keep trying to fight for basic rights and just being free here. This is minor inconvenience, so don't be too mad. Just try to sympathize and show love. Peace.
Hey, what's up guys? I won't waste any of your time. This is a call out video for a white owned business that 100% profits off of Black culture, that has stayed silent during this whole time. I believe that you've been given way more than enough time to even say absolutely anything, but you've been silent. So I'm just gonna come right out and say it. I'm calling out an old company that I used to work for called Bizarre Entertainment, which is owned by Jeff Bizarre. I've seen that on all of your platforms of social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, your personal page and or your business page, you've said absolutely nothing about the Black Lives Matter movement, and that is just disgusting when you take the pure fact that your entire company was built off of Black culture. If it weren't for Black people and Black culture, your company would not exist. All of your wealth, all of your success, you owe to Black culture. So it is the smallest thing you could do is to say something. Now, so you guys know a little bit of the background. Jeff Bizarre is a white man that lives in the north suburbs of Chicago. He owns a DJ entertainment company, and the company provides DJs, dancers, and MCs to parties. So if you don't understand why this is so important that, he speaks up, I'll break it down for you. DJs, all right? In order to have any type of party, you need a DJ. DJ, that is an element of hip hop. DJs come from hip hop culture. Hip hop culture is Black culture. Number 2, dancers, all of the street dancers you love to hire. The poppers, the lockers, the b-boys and b-girls, the flashy stuff that the client loves. Yes, that is Black culture because that is hip hop. That's another element of hip hop. Number 3, MCs, the person on the microphone, another element of hip hop, again, Black culture. Everything that you have built your business on comes from Black culture and from Black people, not to mention the amount of times that I have heard you say, this time they wanted a Black MC. So you're literally making money off of Black culture and Black people, yet you have nothing to say. Guess what? Your silence speaks louder than ever. Now, I think that you owe your employees, your Black employees, a apology. I think that you owe the world an apology. I think that it's your duty to start speaking up. It doesn't matter if, behind the scenes you've been, if you've been donating or signing petitions. Yes, that's really important, and I'm happy if you have done those things. But the fact is that you're a white man in America. That's the most powerful thing you can be, is a white man in America. You need to be speaking up for these people. They ask you for your support. They ask for you to say something, especially because you're making all your money off of their culture. You need to be saying something, and you have said absolutely nothing at all. So yes, you're going to be called out. Everything I'm saying is factual. That's the thing. This isn't opinion. These are facts that I am telling you. So to move on from all of this, I hope that all of the white and non-Black people of color that profit off of Black culture, I hope that you're using your platform and that you are saying something. You could be doing things behind the scenes all you want. That's important too, but you have to say at least something, all right? That's all for today. You've been called out, Bizarre Entertainment and Jeff Bizarre. Black Lives Matter.
All right, we're back. Yes, we're back. I have a very special guest with me, a very talented individual. Where when I first met him and chopped it up with him, would have never thought he was in the profession he was. I thought the man was just a dope DJ 100% of the time, and then to my surprise, he had another profession he was involved in. But after meeting him, I was very happy that somebody of his caliber was in this profession because I felt extremely safe with it. That, you know, no drama, no nothing. I felt like people like him are the people that we need in this position to protect and serve. I got my man Lee Parker here. What's up, Lee?
What's going on? What's going on?
What's going on? A police officer, which is crazy because if we look at you, now that I've talked to you, and I've only met you once in person, but I've talked to you a couple of times. Now that I know, after talking to you, I can see it because you hold yourself a certain way. You're cool with everybody. You know what I'm saying?
I try to be. I try to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it's pretty interesting the way that that came about because if you don't ask, you don't know. If I wouldn't have never saw you in uniform, I wouldn't have never known. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's pretty interesting. So we have these so-called. Well, I'm not gonna say so-called because I don't want to disrespect anybody who's out there really for what, you know what I'm saying, they're trying to do. We have these protests happening. I've only seen one peaceful one in the area the whole time I've been here, and that's the one that they've been having. That's the one that they had in Valpo. The one outside of South Lake Mall, because it seems like they're portioned into different sections as far as what's going on in Maryville. The one outside South Lake Mall, to the point right now, is still peaceful. But then again, they have snipers on the roof of the mall. So that
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they got snipers on the roof of the mall, so that's giving them incentive, you know what I'm saying, more incentive to be peaceful in what's going on. But I got a couple of things that I think about as far as what's going on with this, because I feel like these protests are lacking leadership. That's why a lot of stuff goes on. There are no Dr. Kings, there are no Malcolm X's. You know what I'm saying? There's nobody out there leading for, or somebody that people actually look up to lead. The young girl, I do believe her name is Sarah Sanchez. I might be getting the first name wrong, but her last name is Sanchez, the one who set up the one in Valpo. Put it together and led it very well in what she did out there. But everywhere else I'm seeing, there's no leaders. Everybody's just doing their own thing. But you have an interesting perspective on what's going on, because not only are you an African-American male, you do put on a uniform to protect and serve. What has been your, you know what I'm saying, realism of everything that's going on, especially with friends, neighbors, and your views on what's happening?
I was like down for the cause, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, cool, you know, I'm in a Black Lives Matter group, and because at the end of the day, like you said, how we met, I'm Black, you know what I'm saying? I don't go everywhere with my uniform on. I shop like how you shop. I'm in the hood just like you in the hood. You can run into me anywhere out here. And my thing is when you do so, like, if you didn't know I was a cop, you probably wouldn't know. And that's because I think, you know, my job is my job, but it's not who I am at the end of the day. And but when I was looking at some of the protests that I couldn't make it to, and I was like, hey, I'm just gonna go ahead and if I can't be there physically, I'm gonna be there spiritually. And I was looking through the a couple lives and everything like that, and at the end of the day, it was kind of hard for me to want to be a part of the movement when it's is hated. Like I know there's a certain type of hatred towards the police, but how can you expect a police officer that wants to support you, but you saying, F the police, right? I'm right next to you. I'm not in front of you. I'm not holding a baton. I'm not holding a shield, but I'm right next to you, but it's fuck me at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just trying to, I can relate, but at the same time, it's like, it feels like I'm being put in the middle of my profession and in my beliefs as well, because I'm still a black man at the end of the day. And I believe in there's respect all around. And for those people who don't give the respect, then I understand where you want to angle that towards your angle your protest towards that manner, So that's mainly how I feel about it. I always tell people, like, whatever happens, I know what happened in Minneapolis was horrible. You know what I'm saying? But you can't make those police officers affect your attitude towards the police officers in your community, because they may did some messed up stuff over there, but the officers that you have that you see on a daily basis, that's not what they own. Or you know what I'm saying? I always try to tell people, like, hey, I'm a black officer in a black neighborhood with a black mayor and a black chief of the police. We should have the most up respect for all of ourselves, not just the police, but the people inside of it in it as well. So I think, yeah, I'm saying, go ahead.
Now, which is interesting to me, because in Gary there hasn't been a protest.
There was a small one last night, a very small one.
Okay. But you had no problems, right? It went off without a
not no problems. Not violent. There's a few people, but yeah, I mean, that's ideally how you want the protest to go. Go there, gather, get your point across, and go on.
Yeah, I definitely feel you on that. Oh, did we lose you a little bit? Yeah, dang, we lost. I'm gonna see if I can get him back for a second. But all right, we got you back. I was like, let me see if I can get it back for a second. Happens sometimes. Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, I saw you, but it's just like
it happens sometimes. Gary and like Valpo, they ain't got the best internet.
Okay,
we could do. But no, I totally get what you're saying. It's just that I understand their anger, right?
So do I. Yeah.
And I understand what they're trying to do. I'm down with that, but I just feel like there's a better way to do it, especially when it comes to tearing down your own community. The one thing I did like, though, is that in Minneapolis, the CEO of Target says, I understand what they're going through. They can tear down, we'll rebuild. Everybody that's out of a job right now that works for my company, I'm gonna make sure that they get their pay. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take care of them. And everybody who's affected, you know what I'm saying, who's a employee at Target, we're going to take care of them. We will rebuild, and we're going to come back to those, you know what I'm saying, areas and rebuild. We're not going to take our business somewhere else. So that's something that I understand, but everybody doesn't have that type of money, you know,
exactly,
to be able to do that, because you got a lot of black owned businesses or small businesses around there who are no longer going to be rebuilt. I don't understand why. And this is no offense to any officers out there, right? If the officers would draw and go protect the guy, you know, I'm saying, outside his house to keep him from being reached, which I understand, because if you want justice, we don't want, but there was a guy murdered. Even though you might want that guy to die, what is that going to prove anything? We want justice so that it's a staple set, so that if it happens again, you know what I'm saying, that staple is there, so we know at least we'll get this. You know what I'm saying? If not more. So they're there. Why aren't you going to this neighborhood? You know what I'm saying? To that Walmart, to tear up that Walmart, to make them have to come shop with you in your neighborhood and put money into your neighborhood. I just feel like it's no leadership. You shouldn't really be tearing anything up, but if you're going to tear up, don't tear up your own.
I feel you. I mean, but you know, my thing is resources. Like, I mean, we're both two young black men, and if we had to get something, we had to get it. But when doing that, we're taking away resources from people that's all that they had. Because there's an old lady who doesn't have transportation, who gets her arthritis medication from the Walmart or get whatever she needs for her home from the Walmart, and that's all she got. She might have to get on that bus and take that little round trip and then go to Walmart and then put all her stuff in her little basket and then she goes back home. But when we destroy that in her community, we're taking that resource away from her. So are we helping, or are we continuously, putting bad on top of bad? It's like a layered cake, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. It's like, are you going to make sure that lady's getting her medicine? Like, you
Exactly.
took it down.
Exactly.
So are you going to her like, what do you need? Let me go get it for you. Are
Exactly.
you out in these streets right now after the protests cleaning up?
Exactly.
It was you that were cleaning up. The one thing I did like is that Rubia Garcia, who is known for, standing up for rights, being a former teacher, especially standing up for African American rights, activist. She's on Facebook a lot. She's on Instagram a lot. You know what I'm saying? Just doing her. She's became famous for her activism, right? Booked her own flight. You know what I'm saying? She quit her teaching job to be a full-time activist. She's been doing the whole thing with the Hard Rock Cafe in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? Like standing up for that. Saw what was going on, booked her flight from New Orleans to Minneapolis, is out there helping them clean up that mess and stand up for their rights. You know what I'm saying? Like, if somebody like that can do it who's not even from your community, why can't you help do for, for your own community? It's like, why aren't we putting teams together, especially in Gary, to go clean up our city?
From what I understand, there was a bunch of the workers from the Majestic Star Casino. They cleaned up over there for 25th and I want to say it was on the west side of Gary, like 25th and Wickham, and they was cleaning up all the garbage and stuff. So I mean, there are people who knows that sacrifice and who's willing to make that sacrifice or to be like a little bit uncomfortable with the situation in order to help. And then we just got those individuals who will make a mess, in so many words, and then let someone else get it, because there's always someone else that's going to make that sacrifice for them, and it's like we just need to show responsibility in our community. Like, and if we live here, we stay here, we want to take care of here. We have to, police ourselves, and then we have to take care of our own communities. So, I mean, that's how I personally see it, and we can do better as people. I always tell, like, as the generations go down, we get the water racist, we get the watered down racist, because a lot of say like we know hate, but we don't know hate like how my mom knew hate, how your mom knew hate, how your grandparents knew hate. That's that real hate. Like, if y'all was all chilling on the corner and you realize that you haven't seen Charlie in a couple days, and then they find Charlie, you know what I'm saying? That's that real hate. We got the hate now where you motherfuckers is killing people publicly, you know what I'm saying? And we're getting some type of justice. And if you know the justice system, it takes time. You know what I'm saying? Thing takes time. And the thing about when they burned down that police station in Minneapolis, I thought that was the worst thing that could happen. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I say that, because in that police, if I understand any police station, like, most of the evidence for crimes in that city are going to be kept in that police station. So you got evidence in that police station that could have convicted another murderer or child molester, a rapist. You got all that evidence that's in there, and then you got evidence that could have saved somebody's life from being in jail. You know what I'm saying? Somebody be sitting in jail right now, and they got evidence that prove that man is innocent, but now it's all in flames. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and it's not what
been your brother, your cousin who's facing life. You know what I'm saying? Who's facing a lengthy sentence, and they could have file there that proved that he didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? That was still open, and now he's screwed because there's no proof that he didn't do
it. And I said in plenty of courtrooms into where it's not what you think, it's what you can prove. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people can tell a story, but you can't trump physical evidence. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I was like, man, like, you may be mad for which is rightly justified for Floyd's murder, but man, just how many more murders did we just let go? You know what I'm saying? I've
Rashad,
had family. Yeah,
Rashad Cunningham. We
right.
didn't wild out like this for Rashad.
Exactly. And that
And
happened within the city.
home.
You know what I'm saying?
That was home.
Hey, listen, I've had family members, my family members, murdered in Gary. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I'm supposed to be on the team of the good guys. And once again, I have to be patient, you know, for my justice, for my family's justice.
Right.
So it's not a big thing that I talk about a lot, but when victory is won, victory is going to be won. You know what I'm saying? And so,
Do you think it's more of a thing where we need to have more intelligent African American men actually look at being a police officer as a profession that they need to go into to bring change?
I believe so. I mean, if you can, I try to tell people like a lot. What gets people a lot in trouble is basically self-control. You know what I'm saying? As a black man, you know, growing up, you're gonna need emotional control because you may see a situation and you just can't lash out because that's what people expect of you. They expect for you to get that animalistic behavior, and when you show control, calm, you can't. They have nothing but to do but to listen to you because you calm. You know what I'm saying? It's like the best. If anyone's ever made contact with me on my job, everyone knows that I don't yell. I will never yell at a person. I will never disrespect a person like that. But also, if I'm getting yelled at, I just kind of say, hey, can you treat me like a man? How I'm treating you like a man? And you know, sometimes some people just can't get past that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but not everybody.
A lot of people are so blinded by that badge that they think everything is going to be unfair and unjust to start off with, so they don't even trust you.
And it's kind of hard to get past the fact you may have a real officer in front of you, like a real motherfucker that's like that understands you, but you ain't gonna give him a chance to because you can't get past the fact that he's in uniform. There's been plenty of times where people say, hey, you're not black, you're not white, you're blue. I said, no, I'm a man. At the end of the day, I'm a man first.
I saw a post, I think me and a family member was getting ready to get into it, who does wear, you know what I'm saying, the uniform, and he was putting, you know what I'm saying, he's posting all this blue lives matter, you know what I'm saying, and I wanted to approach, I understood where he was coming from, but I wanted to approach him like as a black man, you know what I'm saying, how can you say that? Because to me, to me personally, and no disrespect to you, to me, the uniform isn't a life. It's a profession you chose to do. Because when you take that uniform off, and this is me addressing that person, you're a black man. You go on your trips to go do what you want to do. You get pulled over. You know what I'm saying? They don't care nothing about that uniform. You a black man. So I was like, how can you say that? I could say you could stand with your brothers because you feel like you and your brothers are good cops. But I also told them that you need to say something. Like I think that silence, like you're speaking up right now, right? And you're just speaking your piece. Silence is also, you know what I'm saying, oppression. Like they look at him for being bad because he is silent. He doesn't say nothing. He just sitting there. You know, he might feel a certain type of way, but a lot of times if you voice your opinion, you can sway the crowd. If they don't feel like they feel, but look, I'm trying to protect everyone. These guys might be bad. We know they're bad. We're trying to do something about that. You know what I'm saying? We can't let you know what we're trying to do because then they know we're trying to do it. Right. You know, but we are for you. We want to keep you safe, but you got to help us keep you safe.
That's very true.
You know,
like I say, I don't know, like a lot of stuff that I post, you know, first of all, I like to think of myself as a comedian anyway, but if I see something, I'm like, hey, well, this probably needs to have some light shed on. And I appreciate, you know, my brothers and sisters in policing, especially the ones that has that gauge of, you know, that level playing field. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people be like, hey, if you don't have that uniform on, I'll fight you. I'm like, bro, if I had this uniform on, I'll try to talk this stuff out with you anyway. Yeah. My father didn't raise me to be an animal in the street. Like, don't get me wrong, we can fight, but at the end of the day, what is that going to prove? What is this going to get past your problem? You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, the uniform is protecting me and you from being idiots in the middle of the street. because I know some people out of state. I'm from Texas originally. I know some people, man, they get off on watching black people fight. They get off on that. And when a lot of people don't believe me, like they say that the KKK and stuff is active, I mean, like they ain't got to march no more. They can just turn on the news and see us destroy ourselves, just as a black community. Say they ain't got to do no marches, no swastikas. They can be silent racist, but but at the end of the day, we'll hurt ourselves because amongst our brothers and sisters, that's it. So I try to respect everybody all around.
I definitely watch it. I watch them silently put people against each other for promotions and jobs. You know what I'm saying? My favorite thing, so-and-so said this about you. Like it's so easy to put us against one another. You know what I'm saying? Because we have no grasp on what is important. Now, as far as leaders, do you think that it should be an officer, you know what I'm saying, that steps up to lead peaceful protests, you know what I'm saying, to speak the truth, you know what I'm saying, is out there? I think the issue now is that maybe the people won't trust it. True. You know what I'm saying? And another thing, where are our churches in this matter? Whether white church, black church, where are the churches in this matter? Because those used to be the heads of these type of things that went on, and now they're nowhere to be found.
I think now, first of all, I'll say this. When they even, I'm in a couple group chats with police officers and everything like that. When the notion of protesters started coming up, there were countless officers that I personally know, Hobart, Gary, Chicago, that I personally know. They was like, hey, let us know what's at. We'll join. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, oh yeah, so it was supposed to be over here. I don't mind going. You know what I'm saying? But also, I think the churches and, if you notice, man, I think it's a lot of fear. You know what I'm saying? Because people will say peaceful protests, but if you look at what's going on all around the world, it's not peaceful. So it might be a little bit of, pullback or a little bit of fear because of what might happen. You know what I'm saying? Because you want it to be peaceful, but is like what you're seeing on the news constantly, what you're seeing on TVs constantly, is scary. And so, like I said, like you got a lot of younger people. At first, my first notion, I was like, hey, me and my son can be a part of this. You know what I'm saying? But I'm looking at the news, I'm like, man, I don't want to put my son in that kind of predicament because at the end of the day, I'm a father and I want to keep my son safe.
I'm looking at the young kids that are getting maced. The young kids that are there with their parents because maybe their parents told them about protests and stuff like that, and maybe they got taken, you know what I'm saying, to a protest by their parents. Right. And I'm watching images of young kids, even just in Hammond, being maced in the face, whether it was by accident because they were in the area or purposely. It does not matter. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like some things go too far on both sides, but cops and people protesting are so on edge, you know what I'm saying, that everybody's waiting on one little thing. You can have one individual and break a window, you know what I'm saying, where they on drugs or they want to start something, they're doing that, and now the whole crowd's going down because of one individual instead of taking that one individual down. You know what I'm saying? And just letting the crowd know, look, this was the bad part. We're going to X out the bad part. As long as y'all doing what y'all doing, y'all good.
Right. I feel you. But like from the law enforcement standpoint, if you're looking at a whole crowd of people and you want to grab that one person that's possibly, the bad apple, going into that crowd, one, is a risk. Two, that one bad apple is hiding amongst the innocence of the protesters that actually came there for a peaceful protest. So it's almost like, man, a protest got to be almost like a family type thing. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has to be on the same page. I totally understand, like, everyone wanting to get together, but let's be honest. These protesters is getting a whole bunch of strangers together, and some of their mind frames is not level with what the cause is. We're coming here for a peaceful protest, and some people just coming there to mess up something up. You know what I'm saying? I literally was at this happened about maybe 2 or 3 hours ago. I was literally at a local store in my neighborhood, and I'm just getting some chips, and I see three black men, and they're talking amongst themselves. They were literally preparing to be like, hey, well, I'm finna go up here to the mall for the protest. First window break, I'm finna go take this. I'm like, you're going into the situation of protest not with good intentions. You're going there to go in there for a personal gain. And I mean, as me being a black man, I just say, hey, man, that's not what the protest is for. But in order, to dodge confrontation, I just left it at that. I'm like, hey, that's not what the protest is for. You know what I'm saying?
And it's definitely for personal gain. It's not for even a Robin Hood mentality. When they're going to take to give somebody, when they're going to take to give to somebody who doesn't have. You know what I'm saying? Because maybe they don't have the funds to help people out. But like, hey, if this is going to happen, hey, let me go grab, you know what I'm saying, 18 pairs of kids' shoes, because I know down here at this Boys and Girls Club, you know what I'm saying, these kids can't afford shoes, and I'm going to take these to them. You know what I'm saying? It's not even that type of mentality anymore. It's mine. I'm going to go grab this so I can stunt. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing that it's getting really close to being a militant state, and you're going to get to the point where you're not able to stunt anything. If we finna all we all
gonna be gone.
and some people actually probably want that.
Yeah,
they don't want to have all that.
So I mean, me personally, I like my freedom. I like my freedom as an American, and I mean, nothing's perfect in America, but you know what I'm saying, you can always just start with your own neighborhood. You got those neighborhoods where everybody know everybody, or everybody's grandmama used to go here for. I remember I was in East Chicago when I was growing up. We could go to one grandma's house at the corner, and she would babysit everybody. Everybody would respect her house. If she made cookies, everybody got a cookie. But that
was that village mentality. The whole block raised the child.
Exactly. So in 30 more years, man, we'll probably be, grandparents. And are we gonna pass that type of upbringing that we had down to our kids? But I mean, it's definitely, the climate is definitely changing with how people react with certain situations that are going on around the world. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, this is in America.
We'll see if he's popped back in. He was actually making a very, very good point. But yeah, it definitely. I think when it comes around, I think when it comes around to it, it sounds like it keeps coming to me. There's a lack of leadership. There is no leadership in the Black community at all. We don't have those leaders. We don't have grandmas. We don't have grandpas anymore. Kids are having kids at 16. You know what I'm saying? So there is no more, you know what I'm saying, grandma helping to raise the kid and all that stuff like that, because grandma's only 28 and she's still out in the streets trying to get her groove on.
Man. It's like I say, man, I think it all just starts back like 60 years ago, man. We had a very strong, prideful, nationality of just being Black men. Like, in order to grow up as a Black man, you needed to learn this, and this. And, my dad, hey, you gonna know how to cut these grass. You gonna know how to change a tire. Like, it was these little, milestones to becoming a man. And it's like, as of today, it's like we're just skipping them. We're skipping certain ones. And so respect, like, we go straight to like the almighty dollar and getting respect and, not being respected amongst our peers, man. And it's just crazy. Like, I see it every day between kids, man. It's like, I could honestly right now pick up my phone and go call my best friend from 20 years ago when we was in middle school. So it's like you can't do that, because now you have that notion, don't trust no one. You know what I'm saying? But how can we move forward if we don't have trust in our brothers and sisters? In my opinion.
Facts. It's one more statement I wanted to see how you feel before I get you out of here. Love having you on here. This is something that needs to be heard. They had a protest in, I think it was Munster.
Okay.
Today, and this this is just hearsay. This isn't, I don't know that I did, how Munster is about releasing stuff. We'll find all about that tomorrow.
Right,
But,
right.
So far from what I'm hearing from everybody that was on scene is that a kid got arrested for literally sitting on a curb under a tree at the protest because he was on private property. And the young girl that was with him, well, she's not young, she's grown, but she's younger than me. Young girl that was with him went on a long soliloquy while she was driving home, talking about how she's tired of this, how she went to Munster, how she had to deal with always being looked at every time she went to the pool, you know what I'm saying, seeing the looks and stuff like that, how they didn't offer any type of African-American history at the school, you know what I'm saying, how they build up these football fields, they got all this money, but they can't offer kids African-American history. You know what I'm saying? How they can't put money into, you know what I'm saying, the black culture and stuff like that, but they got all this money. This supposed to be such a good school. Do you think that's something that has been missing lately in schools, especially in those neighborhoods? Like they teach only what they want to teach.
I ain't gonna lie, I've been out of school for a long time. And the thing about that is if they're not, which kind of just makes me want to look into my son's school system to see if it's being taught. But I don't know if you remember one of those milestones, like I was talking about milestones, you had to watch the motherfucking movie Roots. You know what I'm saying? You had to watch it. I don't know how many days your class sat there and watch it, but everybody know that was like one of the things you had to learn. You had to learn about the slave ships and all that stuff. And the thing about that is that if that's not being provided, that's something that the parents in that city is going to have to sit down with that school committee about it and, ask if this is being taught. And the only reason why I know that is because I go to my son's school and I'll sit down and I'll listen. And that's a really good question. That's something I will have to research. And I want to research and I want to come back to you with a stable answer. But if they're not doing that, slavery is a part of our history. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a racist, but it's like, quote unquote, the man wants you to forget about that shit, but we'll never forget about it. You know what I'm saying? No matter how many years. If I got to learn about George Washington, the first president of the United States of America, this is what was part of it. You know what I'm saying? So we can't just gloss over stuff very quickly. But I'm big into history I'm big into history, period. All kinds of it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people forget, the Klan started in Indiana and and it spread like wildfire. A lot of people forget that, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people think that Egypt is not even located in Africa. You know what I'm saying? So is it as we grow older and our kids, grow up, it's like they want you to believe what they want you to believe. They want you to. I was talking to a girl. I said, "Hey, can you point out Egypt on the map?" And she's looking somewhere in Canada. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, Egypt is right here. So a lot of people forget that. And I try to tell them, I was like, hey, this is what we need to learn because it's part of our history. So, I mean, if that's true, it's wrong. Now, about the boy being arrested under the tree, me being a law enforcement officer, there's some stuff. First of all, if you're going to know the law is, access. It can be accessed by anybody. You can go on Google and type it in by IC code or wording, and you can find out what the thing is. Now, arresting that person, is it right for the circumstance? If it was any other kind of circumstance, the officer would be right. But if you just arrested him for sitting on a private property, I don't know whether it was a house or anything like that, that I can imagine like, hey, can you do me a favor? I don't mind you protesting, but can you please get off of this person's property? Now, let's just say if it was a person's property, like, that owned a house and they was on their property, you're that officer that gets put in that hard spot because now you're looking at a kid sitting under this tree who don't want to move, and then you got this person who owns the property telling me to do my job and get him off of my private property. So that's what the hard part comes in, because by law I'm supposed to do this, but by human understanding, hey, I don't want to arrest you, bro, but you gotta don't put me in this spot to where I have to arrest you. You know what I'm saying?
It's just like you said, we're having that grandma on the block. Like, that'd have been something like back in the day to just been normal. You know what I'm saying? As long as the kids weren't buying anything and you could see, and then they weren't in no trouble. Like they would want to see, all right, the kids are cool. I could see them. Them ain't even my kids, but I can see them. They ain't up to nothing. They cool.
Right.
Leave them be. You know what I'm saying? That's how it used to be back in the day. Now it's everybody's up to something. Everybody has to be up to something. So it's crazy. I appreciate you coming on here. Just this just got sent to me. I don't know if you've been paying attention to this, but 33 minutes ago, they cut off all entrances to Indiana from Illinois. They have declared an emergency in Illinois, and Calumet City and Lansing, unfortunately, are not looking too good now. So everyone out that way, please be safe. I'm actually gonna call and check on my peoples. This is getting a little bit out of hand. But
yeah,
I don't know.
I'm actually in the house for the rest of the day now, man. So I'm just being me and my boy.
Look, I'm supposed to go out and go help somebody with their pool, but now I'm like scared to go towards Crown Point.
Hey, you might get. Hey, honestly, you might get stuck somewhere, bro. Like they talking about curfews. Us as grown men, like they talking about curfews and all this stuff.
And Michigan City is notorious for that, and they're starting their protest at in Michigan City at 6:00. And Michigan City is notorious for y'all finna be in the house by 7 and enforcing those curfews.
I said, remember I was telling you about timing and places of a protest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like you, first of all, you want to protest when it's damn near about to get dark, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna have it at Lighthouse Mall. And those are the two combinations for a bad, event of looting. You know what I'm saying?
Because you can't protest at the casino because you can't walk onto their private property. So all you got is Lighthouse Mall, Marquette Mall, because that's right there off 20. You got Walmart and you got Myers. You can't stay Walmart, you can step on their property. Myers also will enforce their private property.
Hey.
So,
like I say, take it back to the police station and take it back to City Hall. That way, the people you're trying to get to works there. They don't work at the mall.
Yeah,
you're talking about police and you at the mall. Go to the police station. That's me though.
Or have leadership and be I can't pronounce it. I'm so tired. Strategic. I watch a lot of the ones overseas, the protest stuff they have. Them boys keep moving. They got hand signals to hand supplies and stuff down, and it'll be thousands of people doing it, and they move from spot to spot. They're never in the same spot for, more than a few minutes, and then they just keep moving. I watch them use the trains to, all right, everybody go over here, somebody go over here. It is no organization on what's going on. You could have easily been in front of the Maryville police station and courthouse, since it's the same thing, had easy access points to leave, because it's right there on Broadway, to stay out of trouble, and been able to do the same thing, and occupy Broadway. But like you said, it's probably, when it comes to that, it's probably with them trying to get more people out, people of all colors. They probably felt safer, holding it like outside of South Lake Mall than they would, over there on Broadway. So that I understand too.
Okay, yeah, I see it that way too. That's a way to think about it as well.
Yeah, somewhere everybody can participate, because some people might support you, but they might feel a little bit uneasy. Coming that far down on Broadway.
Well, that's how I feel. I would love to support, but also I don't want to be crucified, because they're like, oh, he a police officer, so he ain't with us. And I'm like, man, I came here in regular clothes with you.
Yeah,
because there's no way to tell.
Holding my Black Lives Matter sign, like,
right? You know what I'm saying? There's no way to. If I'm standing right in front of a police officer, there's no way that, unless I know him, like personally, there's no way to look at me and be like, oh yeah, he's the police. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't wear nothing like police. I always wear a hat, and I always wear jeans and a shirt, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing on police about me.
Yeah, and then you coming to the point where you succumb yourself to the same thing that we're finna be. You know what I'm saying? If we start getting tear gas, you getting tear gas too.
I mean, like I ain't bring a mask. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't want to get hit with no rubber bullets. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying?
Them things hurt. I've been hit with a couple. Not minding my own business. Being in the back of a protest, minding my own business, and catch a straight rubber bullet. They don't feel good.
I ain't got time. I got physical therapy. I can't do it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I appreciate you coming on here, man. Y'all
Thanks
go
for
check
having me, bro.
Y'all go check it. He has excellent DJ sets that he's going online all the time. Man is a real DJ. We got a lot of fake DJs out here that cover up their transitions with noise and sound effects and stuff like that.
That's another interview right there. We can talk about that. That'll be another one.
Yeah, we'll definitely have you back on, man. I appreciate you.
All right, man. Take it easy, brother.
All right, you too, man.
Later.
Well, if you made it this far, I want to thank you. I really want to thank you for taking the time to watch that entire video that I put together. Please hit the comments. Let's respect each other in those comments. Address the situation. If you guys got any plans for movement, please feel free to contact me, anybody on my team. If you have any ideas, if you feel like there's something that we could be doing better, if you want to come in for an interview, whether you're a public official, whether you're somebody who's setting up these protests, you're more than free to come over here and use this platform in order for us to seek a better tomorrow. Have no issue with that at all. It's actually what we want to use our platform for over here at Nerdmix Link Up Villain Radio. So really appreciate that. You guys make sure you stay tuned every Monday into the Who's Your Favorite podcast, because I feel like they're going to be a big run, especially in Northwest Indiana and Gary, Indiana, as far as helping these movements to grow and collaborating and figuring out what we need to do next. They really support what's going on as far as our community. So stay tuned to that, because they're always dropping, you know what I'm saying, knowledgeable little gems you guys could check out, and they're in tune with what's going on in the streets. So you guys stay tuned for them every Monday. But I wanted to leave y'all with something from an individual. T. Clark put out this song, Black Lies, produced by Rose, right? I really want you guys to take the time to listen to this and understand what's going on. It's up for free download on SoundCloud. You could check him out, produced by T. Clark, I believe it is, over on Instagram. Just check it out, man. It's powerful. It's something I think you guys will like. And until next time, after this, I'm out. So until next time, you guys enjoy. All right.
Job for a policeman was to catch escaped slaves and protect the property of slave owners. That was the original job for the policeman, and it has not changed. And if you look at all of these Ku Klux Klan members in these pictures, those were the mayors and the lawyers and the policemen of these small towns. Like, it has not changed, brother.
Look, mothers crying, our people dying, we need a lance. Hit the signs, black man down, police is fine. They only pulling our race down cause they see us climbing. They subtracting us, in the midst of it, we divided. Y'all acting like y'all wanna be extinct. Headshot, they not happy when you think. Who put these automatics in these streets? Who your pastor? Do he practice what he preach? Don't follow hypocrites. Knowledge over ignorance. Revelation to nation. This is the new Genesis. This genocide. Learn to be generals, not degenerates. We struggling to get benefits, and they the ones who benefit. It's obvious they wanna copy us and still not be us. Dark kings and queens and black Jews. How can they not see us? Down goes the black men, so down goes the officers. Would be against it, but we've been crucified when they crossing us. Jesus been thinking you were white for 1,000 seasons. Believe in whatever that they tell us, they deceive. Tired of seeing brothers go, tired of seeing their mothers grieving. My fist up, I'm ready for war. They like, what's the reason? Black lives matter. Black lives matter. How many times we gotta see our black lives shattered? Black lives matter. Black lives matter. How many times we gotta see our black lives?
I bet you if one of those cops felt like something was going to happen to them if they killed a black kid, if the same thing was going to happen to their lives, it would not happen. A black cop knows if he shoot an innocent white kid, he is going to jail forever. And if he doesn't go to jail forever, a group of white men are going to come to pull him out of his house. Tell me something that a black person can stop a white person from doing that would affect a group of white people? Nothing. I'm tired, dude. So our kids are dying. Little black girls are getting beat. Y'all are gangsters when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? Zimmerman's still walking around. Y'all are gangsters when it comes to that. Y'all are people who are showing hip hop when it comes to that. Get it, dog. I just don't get it.